Welcome, everyone. So before we start, is there anyone that's here for the first time? Just put your hand up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So welcome. My name is Andy, and I don't know if you guys who are new have done yoga elsewhere before. So yes, most of you nodding, and one person no. Okay. So the style of yoga that I teach is considered quite a flowing, gentle style, but it can be also very dynamic as well, as you'll hopefully experience. It's called Dru Yoga, and one of the things that makes it just a little bit different than other styles of yoga is that it pays a lot of attention to what are known as koshas. And if you haven't heard of them, it doesn't matter, you don't need to know what they are, but it's just the way that we can experience the postures in a much deeper way by taking our awareness through different layers of how we experience life and the world around us. So very quickly, you probably would understand that we all have our physical body, so we have a physical experience of being alive, and that's the first kosha. So when we're doing postures, when we start to focus on feeling the movement and feeling certain muscles being engaged, that is bringing your awareness to the physical body. We then have the second kosha, which is an energy body. So you might have heard people talk about, in Chinese medicine, meridians and energy fields and things like that. So in some cases, we might get you to feel energy maybe between the hands or flowing through different parts of the body, or even around us. And this is bringing your awareness to the fact that we have this electromagnetic field and pranic energy, as they would call it in yoga. And then we can go deeper than that. We have an emotional experience, and so we might direct you to feel connection to certain feelings of happiness, kindness, and things like that, which might relate to different postures. And then we also have a kind of an intellectual experience. So we have our conditioning, our beliefs, our what we could call our knowings, what we know to be true, and even our traumas are in there as well. So we have our intellect, and so within yoga we could bring in things like power statements and different things which work at that level. And when we bring that into our posture work, we really start to experience things in a much deeper way, rather than just feeling that we're doing exercise, which can be what you're here for. And if you are, brilliant, you can get a stretch, and hopefully though, you will leave today feeling that you've connected a bit deeper than that. So we'll just see what your experience is. And what the center has asked me to do, and some of you saw me setting up a camera at the back of the room, is they want to get a bit of footage of every class that they do. And I'm basically filming the class so that they can basically take, probably it's going to be a 30-second snippet of a bit that looks good and say, hey, this is yoga, you know, so. So, you know, that will be that. So if anybody, I don't think, because it's pointing at me, I know there might be a bit of reflection in the mirrors, but if anyone really doesn't want to be on any camera or anything like that, then I might get you to shift across or change position. But as it stands, are you more or less okay with things as they are? Because we don't want anyone to feel like, you know, they really feel uncomfortable with that. Okay, so we're going to come up into standing. We're going to get started into the warm-up, which is called the activation. So we need a bit of music. So in the activation, it's all about preparing us to experiencing the sequences and postures in a much deeper way. So we're going to start by getting some energy moving through the body, and we're going to start by shaking movement, starting with your foot. So just shake one foot, and try and make it as loose and as floppy as you can. Get a bit of energy in there so it's really quite vigorous. And then see if you can get the knee shaking as well. So really get some movement into the knee, lots of different directions. And then try to get some movement into the hip as well. So the more you can get lots of different shaking movements, the better. You're releasing the stuck energy. And then take your leg out to the side. So it's designed to challenge your balance. And then take the leg behind you. And if you do need to put your foot down, it's absolutely fine. Come out to the side again. And then in front, and then back down to the floor, swapping over. So we start with the ankle. So the shaking movements really start to release a lot of stuck energy in the joints. And then try to get some movement into the knee as well. and then try to get the hip involved. So the whole of the hip, knee, and ankle are loosening up, and then out to the side. And then take the leg behind you, and then out to the side. And then in front, and then back down. Well done. And then with the hands, very similar thing. So we shake the hands, almost like you're shaking water off your hands. And then we shake into the elbows, into the shoulders as well. And then start to bring the arms up in front of you to roughly shoulder level. So you're trying to release through the shoulders. So if you're holding them like this, you're actually not moving the shoulders. So really get movement into the shoulders. And then take your hands up a bit higher than the head and really widen your stance. So a nice big stance. Keep the hands shaking. And we're going to do some body circles whilst we're shaking the hands. So choose a direction, turn to whichever leg that you want. As you come down towards the floor, bend deeply into your knees and your hips, come across and up on the other side. Doesn't matter how low you go. And we'll do a second one. Coming down and through and up. And then change direction. 2 circles the other way. So it's getting nice soft movements through the spine, into the knees and the hips as well. And then bring the arms down to shoulder height and start to work into the elbows, into the shoulders. And this time, see if you can get movement into your shoulder blades. So if your shoulder blades, like most people, have got really locked up, you need to try and get some movement there. And then let the arms continue until they're back down. Well done. And then bring the feet back in. And some of you might feel just by that shaking movements, you've got a bit more energy flowing through the body if you're very aware of your own body. So now that we've got the energy stimulated, we want to circulate it. And we do that by touching the left hand to the left knee and the right hand to the right knee. So it's same side. So it's a really simple movement, but from an energy perspective, if your energy is going in the wrong direction through your energy channels, which in yoga they're called nadis, in Chinese medicine they're the meridians, then this will help to restore that forward flow of energy. So it's really important. And it only takes simple things to upset that. It could just be that you've had a bad night's sleep, a bit of emotional stress, something challenging, a cold or a flu, something like that is all it takes. And then finish the one that you're doing. And then we go into cross patterning. So we're touching the opposite knee. And this is arguably the most important thing in the warming up. So it starts to get the 2 hemispheres of your brain cross-communicating with an improved coherence, which is basically a better symmetry. And then we're going to touch the inside of the foot. So this starts to get some mobility into your knees and your hips. And then see if you can take side steps. So you're stepping from left to right as you do that cross patterning. And then see if you can transition into touching the foot behind you. So just different patterns of mobilizing the joints as we're cross patterning. And if you wish, with the arm that you're not using, you can reach upwards. So we're mobilizing through the shoulders, the hips, the knees. We're cross-patterning. But also those side-to-side movements are switching on and stimulating a part of your brain which help to activate your spinal stabilizing. So it's a reflexive stimulation through the nervous system. And then you can finish the one that you're doing and then gently relax. Well done. So we're now going to have another nice big stance, probably wider than you had earlier when we were shaking, wide enough that you can lunge to the side and feel that you're opening up a little bit. And then just start to alternate from side to side. But try and keep yourself at the moment quite centered, so you're not kind of leaning to the side. So once you've got that started, we're going to then reach across, and then you can lean into it as well. So you're twisting and reaching. So we're starting to open up into the inner thigh area. We're twisting the spine, and that reach is helping to just release that shoulder blade area. And then we're going to change it slightly. So now we're going to reach diagonally upwards. So we're still twisting and then reaching. And then we're going to change it again. So we twist and reach towards the floor. So you're not necessarily reaching the floor, but that is the direction. Coming back to just side-to-side movements. And then just one more. Stay in the stance. So now we're going to come over, and you can support with the hand or the side of the arm as we come into a position like this. And if you feel that your knee is kind of too close in, you can just step out into a bigger stance so it feels more comfortable. The hand swoops around, and then we come over to the other side. So we have these lovely movements with the body, alternating from side to side. So we're getting a side bend and stretch. The spine is getting that movement of side bending, and we're continuing to work through the legs as well. And then finish the one that you're doing. Well done. Bring the feet back in. So the next part, we're going to alternate between two positions, and it looks like this. So you're going to have one foot in front of the other. You're going to keep both feet pointing forwards. Keep your back heel on the floor, keep that knee straight, and then bend into the front knee until it's in line with your ankle. So if you can see the shape of that, and then your arms are right up here, this is position number one. And then what you do is you take your front foot and you step behind, not too much behind, so this would be too far. And then what you do is you come forwards into this position. And what you can see is that the leg that is in front now is straight, so I'm getting a hamstring stretch, and my knees are almost alongside each other. So that's how you know you haven't stepped back too far. And all we do is alternate between position one and position two. So if you haven't started, if you have started, you can just continue, but just come up into position one, and then take the front foot and step back, and then come forwards, let the arms come up behind you, and then alternate between the two positions. And so if it's the first time you've done this, it can take a while to kind of figure out, for some people, exactly how to do it absolutely correctly. So as long as you're having a go, we're getting this lovely movement through the spine of flexing and then extending. But we're also stretching dynamically quite a lot of muscles, from the calf muscles to the hip flexors, to muscles in the shoulders and the arms and the chest as well. So now just finish the one that you're doing and swap the legs around. So now you have the opposite leg in front, and we do the same, but you're stepping with the opposite leg forwards and backwards. So again, just play with it. Have a go. And from what I can see, I'm just having a look around to have a look. So remember, you're just moving up and out. You're not holding it as a stretch. It is a dynamic movement. So you move in, you move straight out again. If you hold it, it's just for 1 second, 2 seconds maximum. And if you're a bit lost with it, don't worry. So finish the one that you're doing, and then you can relax. Well done. Come back to facing the front. So we're just going to stand comfortably with the feet roughly hip distance apart. And then just give your hands a little rub. So we go into the final part of what's called the activation. So you're rubbing the hands almost as if you're trying to wash them almost. So you're just paying attention to any parts of your hands that feel that they need a bit more energy or a bit more warmth or just need a bit of attention. So really get some energy in the hands. So in the palms of each hand, you have a mini heart chakra, and it's connected to your main heart center in the chest. So when we start to rub the hands together, we are making the brain aware of the hands by stimulating all the nerve endings in the skin. So that makes us more aware of that heart center at the physical level, the first kosha. So now just pause and just hold your hands in front of your heart at roughly, and then just separate the hands to roughly the distance of your temples. And you could just touch your temples to get that distance and then bring it back again. And then I want you to see if we can feel an energy between the hands. And some of you will struggle, you might not feel anything, and that's fine. And some of you might feel something very faintly, and some of you might feel something strongly. And what we're attempting to do now is to go beyond the physical into the next kosher, which is the energy. Can you feel energy? But don't be too judgmental if you can't. And if you're not feeling any energy, just try to feel the hands and tune into the physical that you can tune into. And I want you to hold on to that feeling of connection with the hands or the energy as you now create a figure of 8. And so the figure of 8 is in front of your heart, and it should come up through the center. So keep the hands that same distance apart, so you're not touching the hands together. And then try to see if you can move other parts of your shoulders, hips, and spine. So you start to make it more than just the hands and the arms. And then you can take your figure of 8 anywhere around the body that you want to take it. So I really want you to widen the stance and explore the space around you with that figure of 8, particularly going down to the floor. You can bend the knees in different directions. And what this will do is it will help to map the space around you into the sensory cortex of the brain. So it improves your maps. The better your maps are at a movement neurology perspective, the better your movements will be. And figure of 8s also have a really powerful impact at balancing the masculine and the feminine energies within us. And so these masculine, feminine energies are just kind of archetypal energies. You could label them yin and yang energies. And essentially, within all of us, we have this polarity, this masculine and feminine, and we don't want one energy to be more dominant over the other because it is indicative of some kind of imbalance. So bringing harmony to that energy is one of the things that we're getting from these figure of 8s. And then come back to where we started, bringing the feet back in, continuing with the figure of 8s in front of your heart. If you've lost a bit of the connection that you had with the energy between your hands, just reconnect with that energy now. And then slow it right down. So whatever speed you started at, I want you to slow it down by at least 50%. So it's really slow, and you're really connecting with the energy again. And because we're connecting with the energy of the heart, we're now going to take it into the third kosher, which is the layer of emotions. And the energy and the emotions connected with the heart are things like compassion and gratitude. And I want you to feel that between your hands you have the emotion of kindness. So just see if you can really feel kindness in that energy between your hands. And then see how intensely you can feel it. If you were to put all of your focus, all of your being into your hands, and ask yourself, what is your true capacity for feeling kindness? The greater you can feel kindness, the more you're able to connect to your heart energy. And you will get days where your life is probably on self-destruct mode and you're not feeling very compassionate, and it's very difficult to feel that energy. But when you can reconnect to it, you start to heal and you really start to experience things in a different way, which is why we are starting the class with connection to heart energy. I now want you to take all of that kindness, compress it between your hands, and draw it into your chest. Just have your thumbs resting on your sternum. You can close the eyes if you wish, and then just imagine that that energy flows into your chest, and from your chest, it flows up into your head. And like a river of energy, it's nourishing your brain and your eyes, your ears, your face. And you feel this lovely sense of letting go. And then allow that energy of kindness to flow down into your arms and shoulders. And just feel that everything lets go a little bit through the neck. And then feel that the energy flows down through your body, through all of your organs, nourishing them, including your lungs and your kidneys, your liver, the digestive system. And just imagine that as they're nourished by this lovely heart energy of kindness, that they begin to smile. And then imagine that the energy of kindness flows through your hips, down into your legs, so that you arrive in a place where every cell in your body is vibrating with the energy of kindness. And then I want you to imagine that that kindness is not just within you, but you can radiate that kindness out of you in all directions into this room. So feel as if you are sharing your kindness with everyone else. Nothing opens the heart more than giving. And if you're giving kindness, it really opens the heart more than anything else. But if you pay attention, you may feel that you're being surrounded and nourished by the heart energy of what I think is about 25 people in this room. Feel supported, feel connected, feel that you're not just an individual, that you're part of something more than just yourself, connected at the level of the heart and kindness. And then you can release the hands down to your side and open your eyes. We're going to come into Tadasana, which is the mountain pose. So you want to have your feet just hip distance apart. If you're able to get down low enough, it's 2 fist distances. That's one way of measuring it. Or you can just generally guess. Make sure the toes are pointing forwards. Your legs are straight, but you're not locking out your kneecaps. So if you were to really lock out the knees, you want to release that tension. So your legs are straight, but you're not holding that kneecap tension. You then want to have a neutral pelvis, so you're not tucking the tailbone under, which compresses your lumbar spine, but you haven't got too much curve in your lower back either. So a middle position is neutral. And then if you were to lengthen your spine, you would naturally, ideally, find that your core engages. And you notice that because your belly button moves slightly away from your clothes. So you shouldn't have to consciously do that, but just by lengthening the spine, you might notice that happens automatically. And then we draw the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze them back, and then allow them to relax into whatever is comfortable. And then just close the eyes for a moment and notice how you feel having just completed what's called the activation. So notice if you feel different compared to when you arrived. You might feel that you're more in your body. You may feel that you're a bit calmer, more present. Maybe your breathing is softer. Maybe if you've got stiffness and certain aches and pains, maybe they feel different as well. Maybe there's a slight softening. So just pay attention to how you are now, because we're going to return to this after each posture and sequence. So one of the key principles of all yoga is the ability to slow down and take your awareness internally and to be able to notice and pay attention. The better you get at doing that, the more you will notice the subtle differences and changes that occur from the different postures that we do. And then you can open the eyes. Well done. So we're going to go into a sequence called the 4 directions. I'm going to show you the sequence first. It's a short sequence, and then we're going to go through together. But it's a lovely sequence for connecting you to the energy of the earth and the energy of the kind of divine or the universe, bringing that energy into the heart, and then using that energy to transform it into something that helps you with anything challenging in your life. So if you're going through anything like even if it's a good challenge, it could be you've started a new job, a new relationship, or you're going through losing your job or the stress of something that's quite challenging. So you can help it to deal with those sorts of things. But if you're trying to create change, so you want to maybe you have ideas that you want to manifest in your life, you can have that as an intention before you start the sequence, and this sequence will then help to bring the energy into alignment with those intentions. So let me show you the sequence first. And then we would do the same on the other side. Okay, so don't worry if that looked a bit quick. We're going to slow it down. So we start with palms facing downwards. So you can close the eyes if you wish, but I want you to feel that through the palms of your hands and through your feet, that you can feel that there's a rising energy coming from the earth, and you can just feel it in the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. So we're trying to connect to that earth energy, and it feels very grounded, very nurturing, very supportive. And then we take the hands and we bring them to face each other. So we bring the earth energy between the hands. Lovely. And then we're going to take the hands upwards, and as we do so, we're going to lift the right knee upwards, and then step out onto the heel, turn the foot around, and then we turn the palms outwards, and the hands gently circle downwards, elbows unlocked and slightly in front of you, and you start to bend into the knees. And you can lean forwards a little bit, and you feel now that we are scooping up some of the energy of the earth. So you feel that you're getting some of that energy, and then as you stand up, you're bringing that energy up to your abdominal area. Lovely. And then you turn the hands around as far as you can, and then soften into the knees. And what we're doing is we're taking all of that earth energy and nourishing all of the organs. We're then going to take the energy upwards as we straighten the legs. And as we open, we're going to soften back into the knees again. But your palms are upwards, and you've got this lovely crescent shape, shoulders relaxed, and you now have your head slightly looking up and the eyes looking up. So we take our intention and our awareness towards the universe. And we don't need to feel for it. It's already there, but I want you to see if you can feel the energy of the universe kind of pouring into you. Feel as if it's pouring into your hands, into your head, into your body. And it's a different feeling and different energy. It's an energy of infinite possibility. And then we bring the hands towards each other as we straighten the knees, bringing all of that energy between the hands, drawing it down to the heart. So you may want to close your eyes for a moment and just think to yourself, is there something I want this energy to help me deal with? Is there a challenge in my life, or is there something I want to manifest? And decide what that is. Or you could just go through the sequence without an intention. But if you've got an intention, just hold that intention. And then we're going to turn your right foot out 90 degrees. And we take the energy and we have the palms upwards. We bend the knee so it's in line with the ankle, and we feel as if we're just giving that energy with extending the arms a little bit. And now we're going to draw a circle. And the circle comes over the head as you turn to face the front, around, under the knees, returning to where we started. And then we draw the hands back in, coming back to facing the front, step back in, palms down. And then we do the same on the other side. So we're going to speed it up a little bit for the second side. So feel a connection with the hands and the feet to the energy of the earth. And then bring the hands together. As they come up, we bring the knee up. We step out onto the heel, turn the foot. And then the hands come down, and we're connecting to the earth, squatting down, only as deeply as you feel. And you feel that you're bringing that earth energy up into your organs. So you're nourishing the organs. Turn the hands over, soften into the knees. Take the energy upwards. Open, soften back into the knees. Have the head slightly looking up and the eyes looking up, because where your intention goes is where energy flows, as they say. feel the energy of the universe. Scoop some of the energy up and then draw it down into the heart, softening back into the knees. If you have an intention, it could be a different one or the same one as we had for the other side. Turn the foot out 90 degrees, palms upwards. Bend your front knee so it's in line with the ankle, and then feel that you extend the arms as if giving that energy. And then we draw that circle. Comes over the head as we turn to face the front, comes under all the way to where we started that circle. Come back to facing the front, and then step back. Palms down, and then just relax. So if you need to check your positioning, just come back into that mountain pose, hip distance with the feet, soft knees, neutral pelvis, nice long spine, give the shoulders a little shake. And then just close the eyes for a moment and just notice how you're feeling. And for some of you, it might not feel particularly different. But for some of you, there might be a feeling, even if you can't describe it, that just feels, it could be just one word, like I feel lighter, or I feel brighter in some way, or you notice your breathing has changed. But just scan through the body and notice how it feels. And then you can open the eyes. So we're going to go into the posture of the tree. And this is a classic yoga posture, which builds on what we've just done in the 4 directions. So it starts to really root us to the earth. And what it will do is it brings that energy, particularly up into your third eye. It brings focus and concentration and awareness and intuition. So we're going to go through it in 3 stages. And some of you might stay at stage 1. And others move on to stage 2. Some of you might stay at stage 2. You don't have to go all the way to stage 3 if you can't. So what we're going to do is just follow. So we're going to take the hands and just bring them up the front of the body as you breathe out. As you breathe in, the hands drop down, keeping the palms upwards and keeping them in front of you slightly. We bring the arms upwards over the head until the palms are together, but the shoulders are relaxed. And then we come down to the heart. Lift the sternum as you turn the hands. Push the hands away, but without locking the elbows. Peel the hands open, opening the fingers, and open into a crescent shape. And then palms down, and as the hands come down, we soften into the knees. I'm going to do that 2 more times. So we breathe in, straightening the knees, palms together. Breathing out, the hands come down to the heart. Breathing in, we lift the sternum and turn the hands. Breathe out as we push away. Breathe in as we open. Breathe out, flowing down. 1 more time. So this first movement gathers the energy of your heart. And then as we breathe in, we expand the heart energy up towards the universe. And then we breathe out, softening into the knees. Breathe in as you turn, breathe out as you push away, breathe in as you open, and then back down. Lovely. And then just relax. So this is stage 2. This is where we start to take it between just the upper body movement and bringing in the legs. So I'm going to breathe out. As I breathe in, I come into this position. So just watch for this one. So hips are facing forwards. I'm not rotating. The toes are balancing me on the floor. The heel is on the inside of my standing leg, but my knee is turned out only as far as my mobility will allow me. So I can't turn my knee out there, because if I do, all of a sudden, I'm not facing forwards, I'm actually facing that way. So keep the hips facing forwards, comfortably turn, and we go through all the same movements, finishing, and then we do the other side. So we breathe out. We expand the heart energy as we breathe in, bringing the heel to rest on the inside of the standing foot. Breathing out. Breathe in as you turn the hands, push away as you breathe out, breathe in as you open, and then step back. Softening into the knees, we swap over to the other side. Breathing in, we bring the heel to rest on the inside. Lovely. Breathing out, Breathe in as you turn, out as you push away. Bring it in as you open, and then breathe out, stepping back and softening. Lovely. So for the full version, because this is a flowing version, we're not going to reach down and bring the leg right up as high as you possibly can. So for most people, it will be a balanced posture, but with the leg gently, and I mean gently, touching somewhere on the inside of the standing leg, and it will look something like this. Okay, so we're going to do it twice on each side. The first side we're going to do flowing. The second side we're going to pause in this position if you can. If you end up losing your balance and you need to kind of put your foot down and come back into it, you can do that. But you've also got the easier version as well. So we breathe out, gathering the heart energy. Breathe in, go into whichever version you feel. It can be the previous version. Breathing out. Breathe in as you lift the sternum, turn the hands. Breathe out as you push away. Breathe in as you open, and then step back, flowing into the other side. Breathe in and feel that heart energy open and expand. Breathing out. Breathe in as you turn the hands, out as you push away. Breathe in as you open, and then return. And then just pause for a moment. So in the next one, we're going to try to hold the position just for a little bit longer. And when you're in that position, I want you to feel almost like the energy of the earth is surrounding you and flowing up through you. And as it does so, I want you to feel that the focus of that energy builds up in your third eye here. So just see if you can feel an imaginary earth energy rising up, right up into the universe, but you feel that it charges up your third eye. So you have your awareness here as well as that upward flowing energy. So here we go. So we breathe out. As we breathe in, we come into the posture. And remember, go to an easier version if you need to, and just see if you can feel that flow of energy upwards and have the awareness on the third eye. Feel that that is the point at which the energy nourishes and energizes. On your next outward breath, we bring the hands down. Breathe in as you turn, out as you push away. Opening as you breathe in, and then back. And then the other side. Come out early if you need to, or put the foot down. People often find one leg has better balance than the other, and feel the energy flowing upwards, and particularly nourishing the third eye. And then the hands come down on an outward breath. Breathe in, out as you push away, in as you open, and then return on the outward breath. Lovely. Bring the feet back to just hip distance. Just close the eyes for a moment and notice how you're feeling. Some of you might feel that there's more energy in that third eye if you take your awareness there. So if I asked you, is it easy to place your awareness in the area of your third eye? You might say, yes, I feel that it's easier, there's more ability to focus there for some of you. You might even feel there's a sense of being more focused, sharper in your concentration. This is a good posture to do if you know you've got to sit down and maybe study or do some paperwork of some kind or computer work, and you haven't really got the concentration to do it. So doing this posture a few times might help you to be able to focus and then be able to sit down and be very productive. And then you can open the eyes. We're now going to come down onto the mats, and we're going to go through the moon sequence, which is one of my favorite sequences. So to do this, I'm going to get anybody who is in the middle to turn your mats so they're facing this way. And if you're on this side, maybe turn them at a slight angle so that you're going to be facing me, and you can turn at a slight angle this way. So you might just want to sit down for a moment. So I'm going to show you the sequence first, and then we'll go through together. So the moon sequence is all about emotions. So the moon has this idea that it's very much connected with water. So you probably know that the water on the earth is all, the tides are all controlled by the moon. And so in yogic philosophy and even Chinese medicine, the idea of water is associated with emotions and the kind of the yin energy or the feminine energy. So if you've got emotional turmoil going on, it's almost like your water is like a storm and it's crashing. So the moon sequence brings stillness to that water and to that emotions. And if you're going for anything now, you might find this very helpful. So just watch. This is how it's done. And then from here, we go into the crocodile, we go into the sphinx, and we go into the child pose, which I'll guide you through. And then we come back to here, and we do that same sequence with the other leg in front. But we only do those 3 postures in the middle between them. Okay? So I'm going to guide you through it. So if you'd like to kneel towards the back of your mat, now some of you will be able to kneel in what's called Vajrasana, which is this position here. If that's really bad for your knees or any part of you, you can start from here. So if this is better for you, start from here. But we are going to spend a moment before we actually start the movements going through a quick visualization. So this helps you to deepen the experience. So if you bring the palms together and just have the thumbs resting on your sternum. Close the eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine that you're somewhere at night where it's dark. It's a dark evening, but it's very still. There's no wind, and you're somewhere where there's water. And so this could be a place that you know, or just somewhere that you've imagined out of nowhere. So it could be a lake, a river, it could be the ocean. But the water is very still. And there's a full moon. And you can see the moon reflected in the water. And as you experience this landscape of a still evening with a full moon reflected on the calm water, you can really feel a sense of stillness and tranquility, a real peacefulness. And I want you to soak that up and really feel it. And then open the eyes. And then we come into the higher position with the kneeling. We then take a step forwards with the right foot. As you breathe in, lift the sternum and turn the hands. Breathe out as you push the hands away, but without locking the elbows. And then breathing in, we open into a crescent shape. Turn the palms upwards, breathing out. Breathe in, draw the hands together, looking slightly up. And then breathing out, we slice down. And then we open into that crescent shape and we hold it. Take an inward breath, lengthen through your spine. And as you breathe out, we're going to turn so that your right arm can rest on your right leg. And you're going into this lovely twist. But you're not forcing anything. The arm that's in the air, you're trying to keep the crescent shape through the elbow and the shoulder. So what I don't want you to do is to force the arm back like this because it blocks all of the shoulder energy. So there you go. Then turn your head to look down at the floor. And then we unwind from that twist, coming back to this position. So just let me show you, just let the hands relax. I'm going to show you the twist on the other side. So I lengthen the spine on the inward breath. As I breathe out, I bring the other hand to rest. And can you see that crescent shape? What I'm not doing is locking out and forcing back, right like here. All that's doing is blocking the flow of energy through all of the joints. So it's all about softness. If I can only go to here, that's as far as I go. It's soft, and then we turn the head, so it's almost like the head leads the unwinding from that twist. And it's all about the energy. So if you bring the arms back up into the crescent shape, and you breathe in and lengthen the spine. When you breathe out, you take your left arm and just rest it on that forward leg, go into the twist, only as far as it feels comfortable, keeping the shoulder and elbow as relaxed as you can. Turn your head to look down at the floor and then unwind out of that twist. Turn your palms upwards. And just look up slightly towards the moon and just feel that as you bring the hands up, you're connecting with the energy of the moon, even though it's daytime. It's still there. And then as we slice the hands down, feel as if you're bringing the energy of the moon down and then drawing it into your heart. And just feel that increased sense of connection with that serenity and peacefulness. And then we step back. And then we're going to lie down on the mats. So you want to lie down on your tummy, one hand on top of the other, feet wide apart so they go right off the edge of your mat, heels rolling in, and then rest your forehead on the hands into Makrasan, the crocodile. So just allow yourself to be comfortable, but your feet must be as wide as you possibly can. Heels rolled inwards, but not wide that you're hurting or causing problems. By allowing the heels to roll inwards, you create an energy lock at the hips. And this keeps all the energy building up in your chakras and in your organs, which is really one of the powerful aspects of this posture. It's said to rejuvenate you at all the different kosha levels, which are the physical, the energy layer, the emotions, as well as the intellect and the beliefs, and even at the level of your higher self. And so we've just done the first half of the moon sequence, so if anything is releasing, any emotional turmoil, this posture helps you to feel grounded. It helps to release the tension through the spine. I want you to feel that the whole of the front of your body is really connected to the earth through your mat. Try to feel that you're softening and letting go into the floor and connecting really deeply with the earth. And then feel that when you're breathing, you're not just breathing in and out through your nose or your mouth, depending on how you're breathing. Imagine you're breathing in and out through the whole of the front of your body, really interfacing with the earth at the level of breath. So that when you breathe in, you feel that you are breathing in and being nourished by that earth energy. But more importantly, when you're breathing out, you can let go of anything you don't need into the earth. Anything that feels ready to release, whether you're conscious of it or not, has permission to let go, and then you breathe in more supportive, nourishing, grounded energy. And so now I want you to bring the feet closer together, just hip distance apart. We're going to reposition your hands so your thumbs are right next to your temples. And then we're going to push the body away from the mat, tuck the elbows under, and rest on the forearms. Head looking forwards. And then just check that your elbows are directly under your shoulders. So occasionally someone's elbows are too wide, or too far forwards, or too far back. So just make an adjustment. So this is the posture of the Sphinx. And I want you to make sure that your gluteal muscles are relaxing. Be aware of the spine and the length through the spine. Feel the sternum naturally lifted. And then try to emphasize that by just pulling on your forearms so your sternum feels like it's getting that extra little bit of lift. Try to relax into your breathing and bring your awareness to your third eye. And then just imagine that from the third eye, there's like a laser light that's projecting forwards. Take an inward breath, lengthen through your neck, and as you breathe out, turn your head to gently look over one shoulder. Breathe in as you come back to the center, and then breathe out as you turn the other way. Breathe in as you come back to the center, We're going to slide the elbows out and roll back down. Coming up onto your knees. We're going to go into the child pose. So you want to sit as far back onto your heels as you can, and then bring your head to the floor. But if you can't do that, you can do what I'm doing now. You can do your head resting on 2 fists. If you can go a bit further than that, you could put your palms together and go a bit further, or you could then put your head on the mat. And if you can get your head on the mat, you can either decide to have your hands above the head or alongside your legs. But this is the key thing with this posture. You do not lift your hips away from your heels to get your head on the floor. You keep your hips as close to your heels as you can, and then see how close your head can be to the floor. And then use the adjustments with the hands to support the head. So then we come up out of that posture into the kneeling position that you started in. So it might be up or it could have been here. So whichever one that you started in. And then we raise up. This time we take the left foot forwards. Lift the sternum as you breathe in. Breathe out as you push away. Breathe in as you open. Breathe out as you turn the palms. Breathe in as you draw the hands together above the head, slicing down and then opening. So just take an inward breath, lengthen the spine, and when you breathe out, turn so that your left hand rests on that left leg, and you go into that gentle twist with that softness through the shoulder and the elbow. Turn your head to look down at the floor and then unwind from that twist. When you take your next inward breath, lengthen the spine, and when you breathe out, turn the other way. Turn your head to look at the floor, and then just unwind. Lovely. Just make sure that you're 90 degrees in that front knee. And then we turn the palms upwards. And then we breathe in, bringing the hands together. We feel that we connect to the energy of the moon. We feel that as we slice down in front of us, that we're bringing the energy of the moon down, and then we draw it into the heart. And then we step back. And then return to your start position. And then just close the eyes for a moment. And just very quickly return to the visualization that we used at the very beginning. So you're somewhere at night next to water, and you can see a full moon reflected in the water. And really try to feel there's a sense of peacefulness. And it might be that your ability to feel that peacefulness, for some of you, might be deeper than when you were visualizing at the beginning, having just completed the moon sequence. But don't worry if it isn't. And then you can relax the hands. And then come up to standing, and just bring your mats back to the position that they were in at the very beginning. Just come back to your mountain pose, feet just hip distance apart. Legs are straight, kneecaps are soft, neutral pelvis, nice long spine, feeling the core engages a little bit. Give the shoulders a little shake. And then just close the eyes and notice how you're feeling. Has the moon sequence changed anything about how you feel? And for some of you, it might be very subtle. It might be just you feel that as you go through the class, there's a sense that you're getting more stillness. Maybe the breathing is changing. Maybe you're letting go. And then you can open the eyes. We're now going to go into something that contrasts a little bit with the moon sequence. We're going to go through the extended lateral triangle. So I'm going to quickly show it to you, but if you just copy the first part to get the stance right, I want you to have your feet at least 2 shoulder distances apart, but wider, a little bit wider is better for most people. And you can make an adjustment as we go through, because if it's not wide enough, then you'll find that you won't be in the right position to do the posture. So I'm going to take my foot, lift up onto the heel, turn it just 45 degrees and place it back down. So if you can do that with your right foot, so everyone's going to the right. And then lift onto the ball of the foot, so you pivot on the ball, so your foot's now turned out to 90. And if you've done that correctly, the heel is in line with the middle of your other foot. And if it isn't, just make a little adjustment. The other foot, just push the heel out a few degrees. And then just watch as I show you the 3 stages. I breathe out, I breathe in, and then out. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine, bend the knee as I slide across and over. And as I came over, this hand in the air just followed where my body went. I'm not kind of reaching straight up. It's just wherever the body is, it stays in that same position. And if I can go further over, can you see that the hand gets more pointing upwards? So if you can go right over onto your elbow almost, you can. If you can only go to your hand, that's fine as well. And then we come back out. And then we do the same again. And if you want to go to stage 2, you straighten the leg, place the hand on the inside, and without twisting, you might be able to reach a little bit lower towards the floor. And that's stage 2. And then we come back out. But then when we come back in, stage 3 is to turn the head, reach up, relax the shoulder, and we hold it for a moment, and then we come back out. And then we do the same on the other side. So if you're all in position, we breathe out, breathing in, and then feel that the arms relax out of their sockets, away from you. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bend the knee, slide across and over, all on the outward breath. Just make sure that your knee hasn't gone beyond your ankle, so just check that alignment point. And then on an inward breath, push out of the posture and then relax. And we go straight into the next one. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine as you breathe in, breathing out, slide across and over. If you want to go to stage 2, it's up to you. Straighten the leg, place the back of the hand on the inside of the leg, and you might be able to slide a little bit lower, but don't twist. Stay sideways in the position. Bending the knee, push out on an inward breath, and then relax. And the last one. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine as you breathe in, breathe out, slide across and over. Straighten the leg if you're going to stage 2, and then turn the head if you want to look up. Stretch the arm up and then let it relax. We're just going to hold it for a moment longer if you can, but come out early if you need to. And this really helps with creativity and expression. Turn the head to look forwards, bend the knee, breathe in as we come up, and then relax. And then we turn the feet to face forwards. Does one side feel different to the other? Okay, so we need to do the other side, very important. So we lift on the heel, turn out 45 degrees, lift up onto the ball of the foot, turn out the rest of the way. And it should be that the heel is in line with the arch. Push that foot out a few degrees. And then we breathe out, breathing in, and then relax. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine, and as you breathe out, bend the knee and slide across, as if reaching for something, and then coming over into position. Lovely. This hand just follows, and then breathing in, and then relax. Straight into the next one. Breathe in. As you breathe out, relax the arms out of their sockets almost. Palms forwards. Breathe in as you lengthen. Breathe out. We slide across, bending the knee, coming over. Straighten the leg. Place the hand on the inside. Remember, you don't want to twist the body to get closer to the floor. It's a side bending movement. And then bending the knee, we breathe in as we push up and then relax. Breathing in and out. Palms forwards. Lengthen the spine, breathing in. Breathe out as you slide across and over. Straighten the leg if you want to. And if you want to go to the next stage, turn the head, reach up, and then let the shoulder relax. And then turn the head to look forwards. Bending the knee, come up, and relax. Well done. Come back to facing the front. Bring the feet back together. Just come into your mountain pose for a moment. Feet just hip distance apart. And then close the eyes. So the important thing after that little sequence is I want you to almost feel within yourself that you're able to allow your true self to come to the surface. So this is a posture which helps with expression and creativity, but the best part of you, your higher self, if that is able to be expressed into the world, you benefit and the world benefits and everything benefits. And that part of you is the most beautiful part of you. It's the part of you that when it shines through, it's the bit that people respond very positively to. It's the bit that when it shines through, an energy and a frequency that comes with that is incredible, and it allows you to bring good things into your life. And you might find that if you pay attention to how you're feeling now at the very end, that there's a bit more energy and vitality surging through you compared to the stillness of the moon sequence. But within that energy is your most amazing part of yourself shining through with a bit of warmth and energy. So very quickly, I'm going to get you just to lie down for literally about a minute, and you're just going to listen to the sound of the gong for the final part. So just allow yourself to be comfortable in any position on your back that you feel. You can have your knees bent or legs straight. Your hands can be wherever you want. There's no right or wrong. So we normally have a little bit longer lying down at the end, so time kind of got away from us today. But it's very important at the end of any yoga practice to have a period of stillness, as well as those little pauses between. This is allowing your body to process all the different things that we've done, from the movements in the warm-up or the activation, the connection with the heart energy, going through the 4 directions to help you manifest things in your life or to deal with change that's going on. The tree, which helps to ground you and bring focus and concentration. The extended lateral triangle, which brings that ability to express yourself. The moon sequence that helps with emotional turmoil. And some of you, although I didn't say it at the beginning, might notice that with the 4 directions combining with the moon sequence, it's a very good class for helping someone that's going through difficult times at the moment. So well done, everyone. I'm going to get you to bend your knees and then just roll onto your side and then come up to seated from a side position, so it's very soft. So hopefully you leave the class feeling different than when you arrived, and that change of energy can be with you for 2 or 3 days based on studies that I've been involved in. So well done, and hopefully even if you're not aware of it in how you're feeling now, you might notice it in the way that your life is unfolding over the next week. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you.